Hello, my name is Dale DuFay. Mary Hall composed this video that I'm going to narrate for her. And this is above the skies of Michigan and at our home. And we couldn't help but notice all the geoengineering going on. It's quite obvious. And I'd like to make a quote from one of my favorite people, Dr. Judy Wood. She wrote the book, Where Did the Towers Go?, about 9/11. And she always went by this philosophy, quote, if you listen to the evidence carefully enough, it'll speak to you and tell you exactly what happened. If you don't know what happened, keep listening to the evidence until you do. The evidence always tells the truth. The key is not to allow yourself to be distracted away from seeing what the evidence is telling you. Now, she's referring to, 9/11, but you can use that anywhere in this, when it comes to obvious geoengineering. Now, those are not condensation trails, and I know this is old news. A lot of you are aware that this has been going on for years. Now, here's the thing. What is the evidence telling us? It's saying that with impunity, this entity is going all around the globe. Now, this is called geoengineering. Now, on the engineering scale, this is on the top because we're talking about geoengineering, which means the entire world. Now, this entity or whatever has power above all governments on this planet because they're able to do this geoengineering on a grand scale. Now, again, I don't think you can go any higher than geoengineering. You could say they're doing it on a massive scale or whatever, but the fact is you can't get any higher than geoengineering. And, in Wikipedia, we have a quote about it. Not so much a quote, but a description of geoengineering. Now, in there, it says, of course, it's talking about mines and tunnels and the, geographic structures within the earth. But there's also, in number 2, the artificial manipulation of the environments of the earth, especially as a means of counteracting global warming. So they're not even trying to hide it, in literature or above our very own eyes. We can see with our own eyes what's going on here. But again, that's the big question. Who or what is this entity that has power over all the governments? And to me, this fact that they're doing this, with immunity, that's another good description, immunity. They have, in Wikipedia, in legal immunity, the concept of a person or entity being immune from legal liability due to a special status. Which is going on here. I mean, this is a two-edged sword. Obviously, they know something we don't know, and they're trying to help us or save the planet, if you will, from something that's going on with our sun. Now, they know something we don't know. Again, I know that's old news and everything, but let's get back to the big white elephant in the room here, which is who has this kind of power. Because it's not just over the skies of Michigan or the United States or North America. You could see clips from all over the planet and see that this is going on in the background. Now here she's aiming at a sundog, you could see. And of course those sundogs are caused by what's in the aerosol, which is a lot of aluminum. So it's going to get that coloration. It's going to reflect. And it also cause those halos. That's what's causing them. It's the elements and ingredients within the aerosol that they're using, which a lot of it, again, is a powdered aluminum, which reflects the sunlight. That's why they're trying to reflect the sunlight. But look at this. This is on, it's geoengineering. You can't get any higher than that. But I like to say they're doing it on a massive scale. I mean, it's quite obvious. They're like laying trails within trails. And there's a really good example in a couple minutes here of a plane that's showing just this normal condensation trail, and that's all within these so-called contrails. So for those who argue that this is caused by environmental reasons or whatever's happening in the atmosphere, this plane coming up actually proves contrary. It's coming from the right to the left, and you could see that it has a normal condensation trail, which is usually from our site about a foot long. And that's normal condensation. But this is, they can call this condensation all they want, but it obviously isn't. It's all, you can see it morphing into clouds and also basically a white film, or, I guess the weathermen call it a filtered sunshine nowadays. I guess they have to call it something, but it's something that's obviously happening, and it's obviously happening all over the earth. Here comes that plane. You can see it in the middle of the screen there, coming from right to left. And as you can see, that's a normal condensation trail, and it's at the same elevation, approximately 35,000 feet, as the other planes. And it's not leaving a big, long, several, kilometers long, what would they call chemtrails? We like to call them airplane clouds. And of course, chemtrails is a word that's, brings up conspiracy theories and whatnot. But this is very obvious geoengineering. And again, that plane in the background is proof that those are not condensation trails. That one in the background is indeed a true condensation trail, and no doubt that plane has passengers in it. These other planes do not. Where do you think all the pilots are going? There's a pilot shortage in commercial airlines. They're all going to this entity because they're offering more money and they think they're saving the earth. So that's where all the pilots are going. It's not a lack of interest of people being a pilot, because that used to always be a luxurious job to have. One of the top jobs in the United States. So of course, it's kind of like that PGA, that Saudi Arabian league taking over, famous people from the PGA away and offering more money. That's what's happening with the pilots. So again, who is this entity that has immunity to fly all across the earth around this planet and spray aerosols at will at any place? And they're obviously strategically laying them out, because shortly after this, regular clouds rolled in as these rolled out. But they're obviously, to me, that's the big thing. It's proving that there is this entity that obviously exists, that has control over all governments. Now, I used to listen to David Icke before he was taken off YouTube, and he was very aware of this entity's existence, and it has been for as long as probably humans have been around. When you ask him, who is it, and he just, all he says is they're not human. So really, what is going on here? Who's paying for all this? Who has the power over all the governments of the earth? Is the big question. But again, what this really does for me personally and Mary is prove that there is such an entity, obviously, that has this kind of immunity. Think about it. So with that, I thank you for watching. Please subscribe to Mary's channel. She's working real hard on it, and she really enjoys all your wonderful comments. And again, thank you for watching, and we'll talk at you later.